Hi, my name's Mark. I want to try something different and do a real quick tutorial on how how someone with a job can trade, 15 minutes a day, um, and still make money. Okay. Now, first, some basics. If you can't see the screen or you want to see the screen bigger, um, on your keyboard, hit the control button and the plus button, the addition button, and you can blow up your screen like so you can see this better. Control and minus reduces it. Control 0 brings it back to normal. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit just to make sure it fits better. And of course, this is my home screen though. All right, so real quickly, that now that's out of the way, I'm going to start off with when out of business, I was really busy. So I incorporated something called time stacking, where I would try and pack as much as I could into a short period of time, so I'd have more time to do other things. So, for example, here's an example of kind of like my day when I was running my businesses. So I'd wait, and I had it breaking down into 10-minute segments. Why? Honestly, when you hold yourself accountable and you have everything broken down, you know if you're on schedule, and you try not to deviate from it, because then you get on a nice little system and all of a sudden things become easier. And of course, you're going to vary from this a little bit, but I had everything from when I would see my first appointment, when I would see my second appointment. Maybe you guys are in sales, maybe you're not. I'd have a time where, as you can see here, I would simply block off time for calls. you know um, it's just a lot easier. So hold on. See, so I would oops, I'm gonna try something here. Oh well, guess I couldn't do it. Anyway, try to see if I could write. But anyway, I had everything such as that to from returning calls to playing with my kids or whatever. So what I chose to do is make a quick, like, let's say you work 9 to 5, okay? Or and I now remember now I moved from Hawaii, so I do go back and forth, but I'm doing this on West Coast time. So let's say you live on the West Coast, California or whatnot. And of course, you can adjust this to, whatever timetable you're on. So let's say you live in California. Chicago is about 2 hours ahead. The stock market's 3 hours ahead from California, which means Tasty Trade starts at about 7 o'clock a.m. Chicago time, which is 5 o'clock West Coast time. So all I did was um, start this off at 5 o'clock a.m. As you can see my mouse over here. Okay. So this is pretty much my schedule when I'm on the West Coast. I'll wake up at 5 a.m., start breakfast, whatever, and I'll have Tasty Trade on the TV in the background, okay? Just because to get myself going. And then I'll have it on, and after I'm done making myself something, you can see I'll do a quick workout from, let's say, 5:10 to like 5:50 or so, 6 o'clock. Personally, I don't do a lot of heavy weightlifting. I do a lot of high intensity interval training. That's kind of like what you see on TV, P90X, or the T25, or the 10-minute workout. I like the 10-minute workout because it's quick. Um, I'll take a quick shower after that, and I'll have Tasty Trade on in the background on the iPad, so I basically can take it into the shower or wherever. I'll just leave the TV on, and I'm watching, and they have Daily Dose and all that. It's fun. It's funny for the morning. Um, by the time I get ready, I want to kind of be at least ready to go around by 6:30, because that's when opening bell hits. I'll have Tasty Trade on, opening bell. I'll make sure that my kids are waking up or whatever, and then I'll just go to I'll scan my grid page, and I'll place any orders. You want to get your kids breakfast or whatever, get them ready for school around 7ish. Most of you probably got to leave at least by 7:30 to take your kids to school. Let's say, I don't know how long it takes you to get to school or whatever, but let's say you start work at 9 o'clock, right? So you arrive work at 9 o'clock, you start to work. So let's say you weren't able to trade at all during this time, okay? You weren't able to do this from 6:30 to 6:45. That's pretty much, you only need 15 minutes to scan your good page and place some orders, and I'll show you how fast that is. So let's say you weren't able to do that. You arrive to work at 9 o'clock. You still haven't traded yet, right? You punch in, you do whatever. Um, let's say you're working in an office or whatever. Your goal is to squeeze in 15, 20 minutes per day. Now what I do is I always have it on in the background. Okay, so you should open up like a separate window. Like I use Chrome a lot. Okay, so in Chrome, you have these tabs, and I always do this over here. See this? I'll open a new incognito window, which means it doesn't remember anything on your computer, right? And then from here, you can go to, you can start, Dole from here, and have Dole playing in the background, or Tasty Trade, and just listen to it in the background, so at least you know kind of what's going on. Okay, and then when you're done, click it. It doesn't remember your passwords if you're in incognito mode or whatever. Okay, so your goal is to just find some time to trade, like, and try to do it around 9:30, because 9:30 West Coast is what, 12:30 East Coast. It's slow. Everyone's on break at lunchtime, so you can make your trades or check your positions. Then it only takes, like I said, max 15 minutes. Go back to work, whatever. Try again around 10:30 your time. Okay, go back to work. You're gonna have to go to lunch, but you're probably going to be going to lunch around this time. Okay, try it again there. With the new iPhone app, you can do this from any iPhone, Android, or whatever. 12:40. This is when 12:40 West Coast is about 3:40 East Coast. Market's going to close. Market closes around 1 o'clock. If you do play any earnings, or you want to get something in, that you couldn't get in all day, 12:40 is around the great time. Last call is on as well. And that's it. Okay, you make your trade. That's it. At 1 o'clock, you're done. You can't do anything anyway. You have good to cancel orders in for closing orders, but you're pretty much done. So you're working the rest of the day, right? Let's say you get off work at 5. See, you want to map it out. Leave for home Monday, Tuesday. It's all the same Monday through Friday. Have some play time, have fun time set in, right? Let's say you weren't able to watch Tasty Trade at all. This is when you want to watch a recap on Roku, or replay your segments, especially market measures or whatnot. You have all this time to do that, okay? Or maybe you don't. Maybe you got to cook or whatever. So do all your family stuff, okay? You can have it playing on in the background, but I highly recommend that you have Tasty Trade on or something on in the background instead of normal TV. Or go to the YouTube channel. There's playlists, and set up your own playlist. It'll just play, okay, different segments over and over again. Why? Your kids will learn through osmosis, just from hearing it over and over again. That's why I have an 8-year-old son. He knows the terminology just because he hears it all the time. He doesn't even know what it means totally. But once I started to explain to him what it was, he caught on really quick, because he just heard he was familiar with the vernacular. Okay, have dinner with the family, talk about whatever. Okay, 7 o'clock, I get my kids, they get ready for bed already, right? They're doing their whole brush thing, right? Pick some books out to read or whatever. I try not to have any electronics on unless it's stock trading related or constructive related around 7. 8 o'clock, they all go to bed. This is where, you can do your me time. Let's say you didn't do any trading, no Tasty Trade all day. 8 o'clock is kind of when you want to do it. Start doing the replay. Start getting your trades ready, so you know what you want to trade for tomorrow morning, so your 15 minutes is more productive. If you start doing this part right here at 8 o'clock, you'd be surprised how everything carries over to the next day, the next day, the next day, the next day, and just becomes easier and easier and easier. Okay, so here's what I mean. Okay, wake up, whatever, all this stuff. Opening bell. Okay, opening bell. Here's what I do. For those who are new at Dole, here's basically how you do it. Here's your home page. Okay, you can watch Dole TV by clicking Dole TV here. Okay, you can here. I'll do it here. You can click Dole TV here. You can click on Tasty Trade Live up here. You can hit play live over here, and once it starts playing or whatever, you can hold on. Let me turn the volume down. But see this arrow button? This can detach it from your Dole screen, and it'll open up in a separate screen. You can move this to the sides or whatever, so you can watch it. So you can watch it another time or whatever, right? Or while you're doing it on. And from here, you're going to go to your grid page. Okay. From the grid page, you're going to go to this drop-down menu, and you're going to select notables. Okay. And I already have my filter set, but if I clear, here's all the notables. I go to my filter selection. I'll click hide earnings. Okay. I'll drag the cursor and move it up to 50 because I only want stuff with IB rank of 50 or higher. All right, I'll close the filter. In the middle is the IB rank. See, GME is 60, 52, 56, 83, 81. Then I'll click on volatility because I want to sort it by highest to lowest, descending order for volatility. TMF is 83, GameStop is 60, and these all don't have earnings, but their volatility is all above 50. All right, then quickly I can, okay, great. If I don't have any positions, here's how I check. This is perfect because I don't know what this is, so I'll double click TFM, and I find out it's fresh marketing. Never heard of it, doesn't matter. I'll go to choose strategy. I'll go to Iron Condor. Okay, I have the star selected for normal Iron Condor. That's the default, so it'll always go to that. I'll click advance, and once you do this, it'll memorize it, so you don't have to do it again. But I put 50 days to expiration. Why? Because that's Karen does it 56. Tasty Traders found 46 is the ideal time. I'm kind of splitting the difference and see what's there. I take off the weeklies. I'm only doing the monthlies. I'm doing 1 standard deviation away, and I'm doing width of 7 strikes for non-it, and I'll just move them out wider. Okay. And what did I say? Do says go, so I'll hit go. Okay, and here's the Iron Condor. 56 days to expiration. Right? Now it's too big. I want to zoom out. So all I do is I'll click the minus sign right here on this magnifying glass, and I'll zoom out. There we go. I can see here's the 2 standard deviation line. Here's the 1 standard deviation line on the left-hand side, and here they are on the right-hand side. I want the red. I want to sell the sell side. I want to drag those out so they're right around the 1 standard deviation line. Now look, if it does this, that means there's no strike that lands perfect on the 1 standard deviation line. If you're wondering what these little teardrops are, that means the stock is not liquid for some reason. Okay, to move it left and right, you just grab anywhere and you kind of drag left and right like this. Okay, so I'll zoom out just a little bit. One more click. All right, this is really, okay, hold on, I can't for some reason. Anyway, all right, so here, this is pretty much a golden gecko. Now here, let me click, see this leg? Oh, hold on. Because if it's all yellow like this, that means something's not priced right. See this put, this buy put? You see how there's no price? There, if I bring it in more, it'll switch up a little bit. Oh, there's no price on that put either. Is there a price? There's still no price on this put. So maybe this is oh, there we go. Okay, so see, as you can tell, this is not something we can trade because it won't work. 90% probability, 5% credit, and there's not enough money. If you click this leg button right here, you'll see why it's not liquid. That's why those teardrops. Look at the wide bid and ask spreads. See, the bid is 10 cents and the ask is 30. That's a 20-cent spread. That's too wide. Okay, so that's why it's liquid. So you'll say to yourself, I can't trade it. I've got to end this video because I'm trying to break this up into 15-minute segments. That's all that can be uploaded to YouTube. I'll come back and I will continue with part 2. All right, see ya.